Good morning, everyone. So let's not discuss the middle path in the language as it is discussed by Gautam Buddha himself. We all know what middle path is all about and who was the propounder of this. Yes, Gautam Buddha was himself the propounder of the middle path. Now, let's quickly understand in brief what middle path is all about first, and then we will extend this conversations, which I think is going to be very interesting for you. So, the simple description of middle path is that one who is able to, you know, maintain his life, not reaching to the extreme part of it, is what is basically inferred and considered as the middle path of the life. For example, it is just a state of mind where a person avoids doing excessively whatsoever it is. Right now, this is a small description. Now, I'm bringing you two important, popular, charismatic characters who concluded this middle path in their own ways, and trust me, they haven't talked about that they have learned about this middle path from Gautam Buddha himself, but how beautifully they concluded, it's very important for all of us to understand. So, first in the picture I'm bringing you is that a psychologist, and her name is Zill. In 1916, what happened to this lady is that she suffered heavy damage on the left part of the brain, and thereafter she eventually felt that she could experience a certain degree of peace in her life. So she calls that event is basically the most peaceful event happened in her life. When someone asked her how she could even say about it, then she says that since her left part of the brain was very engaged in activities such as consistently doing interpretations and speeches, as all these are function of the left part of the brain. So she shifted this workload from left to right, and thereafter she felt that there is no more constant chattering, which she suffered a lot, especially when her left part of the brain was so active. So how beautifully she concluded by saying this statement that if a person could strike a balance between the right and the left hemisphere of the brain, perhaps could ensure the life could be even more peaceful. Right now, let's bring in other character in the picture, that is Bhimrao Ambedkar. Bhimrao Ambedkar, being a constitutional framer, did a simple thing and similar thing. And what he did is that he talked about the rigid nature of the constitution as well as the flexible nature of the constitution. So if you read Indian constitution, you will find that Indian constitution is also following a certain kind of middle path, which is not at all a complete rigid in nature or even a flexible in nature. In fact, the entire constitution is centralized on fundamental rights as being conferred on the citizens of India. Article 19 deals with the fundamental rights. Article 19.2 deals with the definition